So what you can achieve, I may not be able to achieve. The talents that Allah has given to you may differ greatly from mine. So Allah has given to you in terms of talents, in terms of God-given gifts, in terms of the circumstances, in terms of your family circumstances, the atmosphere that you was raised in, all of these things differ greatly to the person sitting beside you. So when a person now, I don't think that the grass is always green on the other side, because it never is. It never is. الحمد لله رب العالمين وصلى الله وسلم وبارك على نبينا محمد وعلى آله وصحبه أجمعين. سبحانك لا علم لنا إلا ما علمتنا إنك أنت العليم الحكيم. اللهم لا سهل إلا ما جعلته سهلا وأنت تجعل الحزن إذا شئت سهلا. رب اشرح لي صدري ويسر لي أمري واحلل عقدة من لساني يفقه قولي. My dear brothers and sisters, a man came to the Prophet ﷺ and he said to him, he said, متى الساعة? When is the hour? Meaning, when is يوم القيامة? The next life, the last day. So the Prophet ﷺ said, وَمَاذَا أَعْدَدْتَ لَهَا? What have you prepared for it? So the man said, لَا شَيْء, nothing. I haven't prepared anything. I haven't done lots of prayers, nor have I fasted a lot as well. I've just done my bare minimum. So the Prophet ﷺ then replied back to him. He said, أَنْتَ مَعَ مَنْ أَحْبَبْتَ. You're going to be with the one whom you love the most. So Anas, one of the companions of the Prophet ﷺ, he used to serve the Prophet ﷺ. He served him for 10 years, the last 10 years of the Prophet ﷺ's life. Anas used to serve the Prophet ﷺ. And Anas says, after the Prophet ﷺ passed away, he says, I have a dream of the Prophet ﷺ almost every night. Anas is... So anyway, Anas says, he's talking about how he felt and how all of the companions felt. He said, we never felt so happy like when we heard that man asking the Prophet ﷺ that question, and the Prophet ﷺ replying back, he said, you're going to be with the one whom you love, because he said, for I love the Prophet ﷺ and Abu Bakr and Umar, وَأَرْجُو أَنْ أَكُونَ مَعَهُمْ. And I hope to be united with them, even if I don't do as many good deeds as they did, because of my love for them. Are you guys with us, inshallah ta'ala? Does that make sense? So who we're going to speak about right now, my dear brothers and sisters, is the main individual after the Prophet sallallahu alaihi wasallam himself. Yeah? And I'm sure some of us know about this stuff, but I think the main thing that we want to focus on, inshallah ta'ala, is to at least plant some love for this individual. That's the first point. And then secondly, so that we can follow in his footsteps. We can follow in his footsteps. So the individual that we're going to talk about, the Prophet ﷺ, he went on the Isra wal Mi'raj journey, where he went from Mecca all the way to Jerusalem in one night. And he saw all of the prophets there, and then it was time for prayer, and the Prophet ﷺ led them in prayer. Then the Prophet ﷺ ascended the sky, and he went on the different 7 skies, inshallah ta'ala, and then the obligatory prayers were made an obligation upon the Ummah of Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam. And then he came back that same night. So the Prophet sallallahu alaihi wasallam told the people of Mecca, and they were like, this guy's crazy. Because right now, traveling from Mecca to there is possible. But traveling at that time was not possible at all. So they're laughing, they're mocking him. Then they asked Abu Bakr, they said, this is what your companion's saying. You still believe in him? He said, if I haven't spoken to him, but if that's what he's saying, then I believe in what he said. I believe things which are more incredible than that. I believe revelation that comes from the sky every day and night. You guys with us? And so after that time, the way Abu Bakr has no hesitation in believing. And this is something that this individual specifically, when we talk about As-Siddeeq, what does As-Siddeeq mean? I just want to ask you guys. The brothers and sisters in Cardiff, yalla, tell us. What does As-Siddeeq mean? Any of the brothers and sisters? Sorry? The truthful one? Okay, that's one way of looking at it, which is nice. We're on the right track. Anything else? Honest? Okay. Nice. There's something more deeper though. It's something way more deeper than just about honesty. Is it clear, inshallah? So what the brothers have mentioned so far is right, though. So I don't want to, but there's something additional, something to add on. Anyone? The brother's side? The sister's side? Anyone have any idea? Anyone have any idea what As-Siddeeq means? No idea? I'm sure you guys know, right? I'm sure you know for sure. But I think maybe we were just a bit worried that we might get it wrong. No worries, inshallah. Khalas. As-Siddeeq, my dear brothers and sisters, is one who believes, they don't just believe, but they believe with conviction. Like they have no doubt in their belief. No doubt whatsoever. And then they practice that as well in their life. Does that make sense? In their speech, in their actions, in whatever. Yes with us? The Prophet ﷺ, he said, every person I invited to Islam, they had doubts, they hesitated. They're like, is this correct? Is this not correct? Except for Abu Bakr as-Siddeeq, he said, I invited him. He said, I believe in your message. As soon as the Prophet ﷺ invited him, he believed. As soon as that. Is that okay, inshallah ta'ala? And you know what's proof? I want to ask you guys a question. If someone really believes in something, it doesn't even have to be something Islamic. If you believe something's right, what would you do? You guys tell me, what would you do? Okay, start doing it. Yeah, I like that. What else? Tell others. Abu Bakr as-Siddeeq. That's exactly what I was looking for. Abu Bakr as-Siddeeq. As soon as he became a Muslim, the first thing he started to do was invite others. So what happened? On the first day, he invited Uthman ibn Affan. I want to ask you guys a question. You know, after the prophets of Allah, there's 10, they're famously known as Al-Ashara Al-Mubashsharuna Bil-Jannah. Is that clear, inshallah? What does that mean? It means the 10 who were given glad tidings, they were told that they're going to enter paradise, these men. Anyone know their names? Anyone know their names? Yallah. Go for it. Umar. Who else? Abu Bakr. Ali. Nice. Sorry? Uthman. Yeah, okay. Abdurrahman bin Auf. Zubair. Okay, Zubair ibn Awam. Who else? Sa'ad ibn Waqqas. Sa'id ibn Zayd. Anyone else? Talha. Okay, nice. Last one. Yallah, you guys have to tell me. What is it? Who is it? Who is it? Someone sing, speak with a little bit louder. Sa'ad. Okay, so let's just quickly go through them. So it's Abu Bakr, Umar, Uthman, Ali. These 4 are the greatest. In order. After them, there's the remaining 6. Who are they? Talha, Az-Zubair, Abdurrahman ibn Auf, Abu Ubaidah, Sa'ad, and Sa'id. These 6 are joint 5th. Joint 5th. They're in joint 5th. Is that going inshallah ta'ala? All of them on the same level. My dear brothers and sisters, after Abu Bakr became a Muslim, the first day, he invited Uthman ibn Affan, Talha, Az-Zubair. Are we good so far? Sa'ad ibn Abi Waqqas. The second day, he invited Abu Ubaidah and Abdurrahman ibn Auf. So out of the 10, he's one of them. He's invited 6 of them. All of them, you copy and paste their good deeds and you add it on to Abu Bakr's. Abu Bakr, all of those, what happened? They became Muslim through Abu Bakr as-Siddeeq. You know what? On top of that, Abu Bakr as-Siddeeq, he invited his mom and his dad. He took his mom to the Prophet ﷺ and he said, look, this mom's, she's a really nice mom. She's a really nice mother to me. Invite her to Islam. The Prophet ﷺ invited her. She became a Muslim. At the end of Abu Bakr's life, at the end of the Prophet ﷺ's life, to be more specific, the Prophet ﷺ met Abu Bakr as-Siddeeq's father. And Abu Bakr said, invite him as well. the Prophet ﷺ invited him, he became Muslim too. That means even Abu Bakr's parents became Muslim. So it shows Abu Bakr as-Siddeeq, not just that conviction, but Abu Bakr as-Siddeeq wanted to what? Take care of those who are closest to him. He didn't forget about his parents. He never forgot about them. And Abu Bakr as-Siddeeq, conviction, you know that belief? That's an action of the heart. It's called what? It's called al-yaqeen. Yaqeen is when you got conviction. You know, a person tells you, you know, Islam, you sure, like, I don't know, it doesn't sound right. It doesn't really sound like a good religion. It doesn't sound like this. Or someone throws something at you. When the person's got yaqeen, they're like, no, look, I'm sure about what I believe in. I have no doubts in it whatsoever. This doubt doesn't really mean it. This is something that you've misunderstood. The religion, alhamdulillah, is complete. Does that make sense? The person's convinced. Abu Bakr as-Siddeeq didn't just have it in terms of the heart, but also in terms of doing goodness, he done it. You guys with us, inshaAllah ta'ala? And at the same time, in terms of racing to do good deeds, Abu Bakr is at the forefront. Abu Bakr is at the forefront. Anyone have any examples of Abu Bakr being at the forefront when it comes to good deeds? Any examples we have? Sorry? Giving his wealth. Okay, do we have a story? Go for it. When Umar came with Abu Bakr, I want to just share, let's remind ourselves of this story and comment on it briefly. Abu Bakr and Umar, the Prophet ﷺ needed some money, inshallah ta'ala, to contribute to one of the expeditions. So Umar came that day with half of his wealth. And the Prophet ﷺ asked him, says, what have you left behind for your family? He said, I've left half of it. This is half of it. I've left half behind. Then Abu Bakr came with his money, and the Prophet ﷺ asked him, what have you left? He said, I've left Allah and His Messenger. Umar wanted to compete with Abu Bakr. There's multiple benefits that I want to take that I just want to share with you guys. The first point is this hadith, in order to understand this in context, I want to ask you guys a question. Did Abu Bakr sell his house? It's a question. Did he sell his house? No. Did he give all the sheep and camels and stuff? Did he give that? No. So in our times, what Abu Bakr gave was like raw cash. Cash. Does that make sense, inshallah? Because I feel sometimes when this hadith is mentioned, we don't really fully understand it. So I just want to make sure that we fully understood this. And the second point is as well, it shows the Prophet ﷺ how amazing individual he was, how an amazing individual he was. The Prophet ﷺ didn't just tell Abu Bakr and Umar, okay, thank you, that's amazing, you've given all of your money, but he's interested about their families. So he's asking Umar, what have you left behind for your family? What have you left, Abu Bakr, for your family? Meaning, although you've given all of your money and wealth, okay, what about your family? Like, if your family are starving, if they're going to go through a difficult time, if they're going to go through challenges, it's like my family. Your family is like my family. Is that clear, inshallah ta'ala? So it shows as well that the Prophet ﷺ was very concerned about his companions. But going back, so Abu Bakr, when it comes to even donations, when it comes to generosity, Umar wanted to compete with Abu Bakr, but Abu Bakr, this is another interesting point, masters, another interesting point. Umar wants to compete with Abu Bakr. I want to ask you guys a question. Who does Abu Bakr want to compete with? Yalla, you guys tell me. Umar wants to compete with Abu Bakr. Who does Abu Bakr want to compete with though? Yalla. By the way, you're allowed, you're not going to be sinful, you're allowed to guess. Inshallah ta'ala. Yeah, you're allowed to guess. So long as we rectify it, so long as we give the right answer at the end, that's the main thing. You're allowed to guess. You're allowed to guess. Yalla. Anyone? Umar is competing with Abu Bakr. Who is Abu Bakr competing with, my dear sisters? Who is he competing with? Okay, the Prophet said, okay, we'll tighten that up shortly. Is he competing with Umar? Do we have a second view? Do you have a third point? A third perspective? His deen? He's trying to prove, like, okay. Anyone else? Himself. What we're looking for, my dear brothers and sisters, see, some people compete with others. Umar would try to compete with Abu Bakr. Abu Bakr did not used to try to compete with Umar. Let me make this very clear. Abu Bakr used to compete with himself. You with us? Umar used to compete with Abu Bakr, like Musa alayhi salam it's like he's looking at the Prophet alayhi salam, and the Prophet is going to have all these amazing followers, so Musa is affected by this. In a good way, in a good way. He wishes that he has as many followers as the Prophet alayhi salam. Who's the Prophet alayhi salam competing with? No one. No one. Is that clear? That's a higher level. That's a higher level. Is that clear, inshaAllah ta'ala? When you don't come, and this is what I encourage all of us to look at as well, my dear sisters, that when you're always looking at yourself, you can actually get to a very high station. Do you know why? Because your circumstances differ greatly from mine. So what you can achieve, I may not be able to achieve. The talents that Allah has given to you may differ greatly from mine. So Allah has given to you in terms of talents, in terms of God-given gifts, in terms of the circumstances, in terms of your family circumstances, the atmosphere that you was raised in, all of these things differ greatly to the person sitting beside you. So when a person now, I don't think that the grass is always green on the other side, because it never is. It never is. So inshallah ta'ala. But when I start now, what do? I start looking at myself. There's no harm competing with believers, by the way. Is that clear, inshallah ta'ala? It's a good thing. But we're saying, my dear sisters, that when you're looking at yourself, that's a different level. Is that clear, inshallah ta'ala? Does that make sense, inshallah? So that's one point. At the same time, Abu Bakr, and you see this clearly. Abu Bakr, for example, the Prophet ﷺ says in Sahih Muslim, he said, which one of you started the day fasting? Abu Bakr said, me. Okay. Which one of you visited a sick person? Me. Which one of you has given like food to the poor? You've given some money or some food to the poor? Me. Which one of you has followed the janazah? So there was a funeral prayer? Me. So the Prophet ﷺ said, no person, so none of the other companions are putting their hands up. None of the other companions are saying it was me. So inshallah, didn't literally put their hands up, but none of the other companions answered saying yes. Abu Bakr as-Siddeeq is at the forefront. Always doing good. So inshallah ta'ala. So then the Prophet ﷺ said, no person has these sort of characteristics, but they're going to be from the people of Jannah. Abu Bakr as-Siddeeq, my dear sisters, that's why, if you've got a strength, let's say you're a person who likes to fast regularly, or another brother likes to give charity regularly, or another sister likes to pray regularly. Is that clear? We're not talking about the bare minimum. We're talking about they like to take care of the bare minimum. They like to do more than that. If you're a person who always does this action, like fasting, then in the next life, inshaAllah ta'ala, when it's time to enter Jannah, you're going to be called from the gates of fasting, the gates where the people, it's called Ar-Rayyan. Another person who used to do lots of prayers, they're going to be called from that door, from that gate. Another person who used to give lots of charity, they're going to be called from that gate. Is that clear, inshaAllah ta'ala? So the Prophet ﷺ was telling his companions about this. Abu Bakr was so excited. He said, is there going to be a person who's going to be called from all 8 gates? Because there's 8 gates of paradise. Is there going to be a person who's going to be called from all 8 gates though? So this person's an all-rounder. This person So the Prophet ﷺ said, yes, and I hope that you're going to be one of them. Yes with us? He hopes who? Abu Bakr as-Siddeeq is going to be from that small group, that small group who's an all-rounder. Does all types of amazing stuff. He's not just good in one area, he's good in all areas. Is that good, inshallah ta'ala? Does that make sense? Yeah? Despite Abu Bakr as-Siddeeq being told by the Prophet ﷺ that, next life, he's got something super exciting to look forward to. Despite that, my dear sisters, Abu Bakr as-Siddeeq, he used to have this man who would work for him. Yeah? It's like a slave. He used to give him some money, and when he used to work, he used to give him some food. And Abu Bakr would eat it. So one day, this man gives him some food, and Abu Bakr eats it up, consumes it. And then the guy says to him, he said, you didn't ask me where I got this food from though. He said, you normally ask me. He said, okay, where did you get it from? He said, before Islam, he said, I pretended to one guy that I know fortune telling. So I told him about his future, although I don't actually know I don't actually know how it works properly. So he said, I just bumped into him right now, and he wanted to reward me, he wanted to pay me for that time I'd done that fortune telling for him. So he gave me this food, and I gave it to you. So Abu Bakr was shocked that this guy gave him that food. He actually made himself vomit all the food out. That he was not interested in any haram food in his stomach. Are we good so far, sisters? That's actually like, that's a different level of piety. You guys with us? Because he didn't know. Inshallah. And you find at the end of, even after the Prophet ﷺ passed away, Bakr As-Siddeeq is leading people in the Maghrib prayer. And in the third rak'ah, the last rak'ah, a man comes to Medina and he said, I was praying very close to Bakr As-Siddeeq. My garment, my clothing was touching his clothing. And I heard him recite, after he recited Surah Al-Fatiha, Alhamdulillahi Rabbil Alameen, Ar-Rahman Ar-Rahim, Anti wal Dhalin, Amin. He started to recite, Rabbana la tuzigh qulubana ba'da idh hadaytana wa hab lana min ladunka rahma innaka antal wahhab. This is an ayah, it's an ayah in the Quran, in Surah Al-Imran. Do you know what that means? He's saying, oh our Lord, don't deviate our hearts, meaning don't misguide us. After you have guided us, yes with us? And bestowed upon us from your mercy, as in you've blessed us and you've bestowed upon us from your mercy. Innaka antal wahhab. And surely you're the true bestower. But what's the point over here, sisters? What's the point over here? I want to ask you guys, what do you take from this? Why is he doing that? I want to ask you guys a question. Yallah, tell me. Why is Abu Bakr as-Siddeeq asking, why is he reciting this ayah at the end of Maghrib? That's fine. Why is he reciting this ayah, Rabbana? Why is he asking Allah not to misguide him? Oh Allah, keep me upon guidance when Abu Bakr as-Siddeeq is going to enter all 8 gates of paradise in the next life. And this is at the end of his life. So you know how old he is? He's about 61, 62 at the time. 61, 62, and he's reciting this ayah. Asking Allah not to take away guidance from him, not to misguide him. Anyone know? Any idea? Anyone have any idea? No one has any idea? No worries. The answer is, my dear sisters, this is a sign of a person who is not complacent. He's not happy with how things are. He's worried that although I have this amazing, iman and belief and faith and guidance, I don't want it to be taken away from me. I never want it to be taken away from me. Is that clear, inshaAllah ta'ala? Does that make sense, inshaAllah ta'ala? Yeah? So likewise, all of us, my dear brothers and sisters, anything that amazing that we have, we need to make sure, and this is something that I feel like any person, any brother or sister in the audience, or watching this, when we start our journey to Allah, without us realizing, we start looking down upon other people. It's as if guidance was something that we earn. And it's something that cannot be taken away from us. We need to remember that this was a gift from Allah, and we want to preserve that gift. And we also need to remember, as Allah says, كَذَلِكَ كُنْتُم مِّن قَبْلِ فَمَنَّ اللَّهُ عَلَيْكُمْ. Likewise, you weren't practicing one day as well. You wasn't in this amazing situation, but Allah favored you. It was Allah who favored you. So long as I remember that Allah favored me, and I remember this is a gift from Allah, I will never look down upon anyone. Never would I look down upon anyone. Inshallah ta'ala, I want to make sure that if Allah has given me this stuff, I'm making dua for other brothers and sisters who I feel are not on the same level as me at this moment in time. Because all it takes, I'm telling you, brothers and sisters, remember this, all it takes is a moment, literally a moment. It doesn't even require a day or a week or a year. A moment, which may last for an hour. It could be today. Where a person makes a massive U-turn in their life, literally 180 degrees. And after that, Allah blesses them and opens up so many doors that they reach a different level altogether. And the best example for this is Umar radiallahu anhu. Umar radiallahu anhu, from the 10 given glad tidings of paradise, we just told you Abu Bakr was one of them. And he invited 6 of them, became Muslim within the next 2 days. Abu Bakr's invited the 6. Ali radiallahu anhu is also from them. And then there's Sa'id ibn Zayd. Out of the 10, do you know the last one that became Muslim? The last one that became Muslim out of all of these 10 who are the greatest Muslims? Umar. He's the last one who became Muslim. And do you know what happened when he became Muslim? Allah opened up so many doors. He hit second best. Although he became Muslim way after these. Years after this. In fact, forget that. One of the 10 given glad tidings of paradise, Sa'id ibn Zayd, That's Umar's brother-in-law. Sa'id says, before Umar became Muslim, Umar used to tie me up. And he tells me, leave Islam, leave Islam. Imagine that. This is in Bukhari. This narration is in Bukhari. He used to tie me up. And what happened when Allah opened the doors and that ocean of blessings entered into Umar's life? As in, I'm sure, brothers and sisters, we may have many Umars in this gathering right now. We may have many brothers and sisters who are untapped, who are Umar right now. As in, tomorrow, this is who we're going to see, inshallah ta'ala. So we're saying, brothers and sisters, that when Allah opens up the door, there's no limits. There's no limits whatsoever. When His goodness enters into a person's life, it completely switches them. And I've seen this so many times in my own life. I've seen this, I've seen so many brothers and sisters. We saw them once upon a time, and now you see them in such a short space of time. And subhanAllah, Allah has bestowed, He's granted them some amazing openings. So going back, Umar radiallahu ta'ala, Abu Bakr radiallahu ta'ala, he wasn't complacent. So when he was given something, he was grateful. And he never wanted it to be taken away from him. And he never looked down upon others. And subhanAllah, after the Prophet ﷺ passed away, Abu Bakr was elected the new leader. You know what shows so much sincerity in Abu Bakr radiallahu anhu? After he became the leader, he said, Wallahi, he said, by Allah, he swore upon Allah, I never wanted to be the leader. I never made dua for it in private or in public. This never even crossed my mind. It was never an interest of mine. I never wanted it. These are the true people who need to be taken these positions. As in, what a person does, because they understand the responsibility it has. It's not all about limelight. There's a lot more to it. Inshallah ta'ala, he said, I never asked for it. So Abu Bakr, he got that, my dear sisters. He was in charge. And then after that, after he was placed in charge, then what happened, my sisters? A number of things happened. But from them, he used to have this secret deed. Although he's in charge of the entire Muslim Ummah, Umar, one day he's following him. And there was some old lady who Umar used to try and take care of her affairs. One day, as he's quietly going, as he's quietly going to a house, he sees another man who's just entered and left. And he goes in, and he's like, it's all of her affairs are taken off. And who was that man? Abu Bakr As-Siddeeq. And the lady she didn't even know who it was. The lady who's been helped. And Abu Bakr As-Siddeeq was doing this for some time, sisters. As in, he used to have secret deeds as well. And this is another point, my dear sisters, that I think all of us, I need to invite all of us, to start this journey, to start the role of having secret deeds. Do you have any secret deeds? Inshallah ta'ala, even if it's just one secret deed, no one knows about it. It's between you and Allah. It could be, there's some brothers, and there's even some sisters, they might even be married, and maybe when their husband's asleep, their wife's asleep, they remember Allah out of love, out of fear, regardless. It differs from person to person, and it brings tears to their eyes. That's an example of a secret deed. It doesn't have to be that you have to give charity or you have to do this. Although no doubt, if a person could do some sort of charitable stuff, that would be amazing. But we're saying, as for what good deed, that's up to you. The key point is to have something secret, something that no one knows. It could be some little charity. Like there was the Prophet ﷺ's, this is an example of Abu Bakr, we just gave that example. The Prophet ﷺ's great-grandson, Zainul Abidin. He would go every night in Medina. He was from those who lived in Medina. And he would go look for houses belonging to orphans and widows, and he would leave a sack of food outside the house every night. No one knows about it, not even his family. After he passed away, when they were washing his body, they found marks on his back. You could see that a person's been carrying heavy loads for years. And then they realized that this was the man who's being supporting the houses from Medina. And it was approximately 100 houses. 100 houses. Does that make sense, inshallah ta'ala? And this is an example of sadaqatul sir, meaning secret charity. Charity that no one knows is between you and Allah. But it doesn't have to be charity. It could be tears. It could be when you're driving to work, when you're on the tube, when, wherever a person is, when a person's traveling, when a person's going somewhere by car, and it's just between them and Allah. They're listening to something privately, or they're making dua privately. The point is, do something privately. The point that I'm making right now is have some sort of good deed that you do between you and Allah. ideally helping someone, but even if it's for yourself, even if it's between you and Allah, it's fine. It's okay, inshallah ta'ala? Yeah? Even if it's between you and Allah, that's fine. And then the last point that I wanted to mention, to finish off this reminder, inshallah ta'ala, is that from the hasanat, from the good deeds of Abu Bakr, my dear sisters, was that he chose Umar to be his successor. So again, all of the amazing good deeds that Umar done as well goes back and is added on to the scale of good deeds of Abu Bakr as-Siddeeq radiallahu ta'ala. All of those. So that's why, my dear sisters, we need to also make sure that if we can't do good deeds, let us at least direct other people to do good deeds. It could be through a statement, and this is something that I feel like we all need to do. Because remember this, you don't need to always, let's say you feel like not many doors have been opened for you. Although I'm sure many doors have been opened, but I'm thinking sometimes we may think some doors haven't really been opened up for us. What we should do in this case, brothers and sisters, any brother or sister who's younger than us, who's older than us, ask us for some advice. Ask us, what do you think? Should I go on this? Should I start this good thing? Always look to what? To plant amazing seeds, to start someone else's journey as much as you can. It's a nice statement. So for example, you see someone doing some good deed, you see them praying for the first time, you encourage them, you say, subhanallah, mashallah, have you been praying for some time? Like, you know, like the way you pray is, does that make sense? Like you tell them that, mashallah, like the way, the prayer, how is it, how are you finding it? And you try to encourage them to do more. You try to encourage them to do more. Inshallah ta'ala. Or you see a person trying to, they're thinking, oh, should I go for Umrah? Should I go for Hajj? Should I give some charity? You tell them, definitely, ya akhi. And you give them some encouragement. You mention some story or something that they find inspiring. So that way, any good deed, specifically if it's like an entire change, that this person starts to do, you are also going to benefit from it too. You're also going to benefit from it. Yeah? You're also going to. With that said, inshallah ta'ala, may Allah accept it from us all. Barakallahu feekum. We just want to make sure, brothers and sisters, that from now on, if any of us have been complacent, we try to calm that down. No more complacency, inshallah ta'ala. Is that okay, inshallah ta'ala? We also look at if any of us were feeling, we thought that, okay, you know, I haven't really done many good deeds in my life. Should I start right now? We say, start right now. Start right now. And the third point is, any brother or sister, I'm sure everyone in this room falls into either one of two categories. Either they want to be like Abu Bakr, so they think, alhamdulillah, I've already started the journey, I want to now excel in all these different areas. But if you're not from that group, we want you to aim to be like Umar. So if you're a brother or sister who hasn't started the journey, when you start your journey and start accelerating. So before you know it, next time we come to Cardiff, we're going to see some amazing, we're going to see loads of Umars, inshallah. So inshallah, see loads of Umars, and we're going to see like beacons of light across Cardiff, inshallah ta'ala. Does that make sense? And don't belittle yourself, sisters. A person's like, okay, I haven't been practicing my entire life. I haven't really done any good deeds. I don't come from a family that really practices the religion too well. If it doesn't make it, Umar didn't come from that too. But Umar, he took the first step and Allah took care of the rest. You take the first step today, inshallah ta'ala, let Allah take care of the rest. Barakallahu feekum wa jazakum Allahu khairan. Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh.